But Darwin said we should find thousands and millions of missing links. Well, they couldn't find any. So it became very popular to look for missing links. These two folks went to Australia, and they got the Australian Aborigines and said, you know what, that looks like a missing link. Their jaws are bigger. Well, the reason their jaws are bigger is because the Aborigines don't use hardly any tool, and they use their jaws like a vise to clamp down on stuff. When they want to strip the bark off a tree branch, they clamp on it and pull the bark off. You use your jaw muscles a lot like that. The muscle pulls on the bone responds by getting bigger. Any bodybuilder will tell you. So the Aborigines have big jaw bones because they use their jaws a lot. That's why. But these guys thought, no, they're a missing link. So they went down to, the whole article's right here. This is the 1992 March to May edition about what happened to the people in Australia, the Aborigines, Darwin's body snatchers. They went down and began robbing the graves of the Aborigines because they could sell the bones as museum displays. Pretty soon they ran out of graves to rob, so they started shooting the Aborigines. They rounded them up and shot them. The police were involved in this. A missionary, a New South Wales missionary, was the horrified witness to the slaughter by mounted police of a group of dozens of Aborigines, men, women, and children. 45 heads were then boiled down and the best 10 skulls packed off for overseas. Here's the article right here. Shot them, cut their heads off, boiled them down, and sold the bones. Why? Well, the Smithsonian was buying a bunch of them. They have 33,000 in their basement right now. You could make big money. If you had a human skull that looked slightly deformed for some reason, man, it'll sell big. Desperate for evidence for evolution. That's what happened, folks, back about the turn of the century, looking for these missing links. Matter of fact, they got pretty desperate. They took a fellow named Ota Benga away from his wife and family, 2 kids, and put him in a cage with chimpanzees. He was a pygmy from Africa. He was part of an evolution display. Did you know in 1904, in the St. Louis World's Fair, they had pygmies as an evolution display? Go to the St. Louis Zoo. Ask them, hey, where was the pygmy display set up? They'll show you. This was part of the evolution display, 1904. Talk about racism. Oh, yeah. Karl Marx was greatly affected by this theory. Karl Marx developed his theories about the same time Darwin was developing his. But Karl Marx would have been just a little footnote in history. Nobody would have paid any attention to Karl Marx. If it hadn't been for Charles Darwin's theory coming along. See, Karl Marx claimed to be a Christian. I don't know if he was or not, but at age 17, he wrote a beautiful paper about how much he loved the Lord. And then Karl Marx went off to college. And in college, a professor turned him away from Christianity. You know, I wonder how many Christian kids have gone off to secular colleges and had their faith destroyed. It seems like every secular college or university has a couple of professors who they think it's their duty in life to ruin Christians. Don't they? I remember when I went to college, first day in sociology class, first day, the professor said, are there any Christians in the room? I raised my hand. I was 19, I got saved when I was 16. He said, I looked around, I said, I guess I'm the only one, sir. He said, Mr. Hoven, you a Christian? He said, yes, sir. He said, let me ask you a question. Can God do anything? I said, yes, sir. By the way, that's not true. There are many things God cannot do. He cannot learn. He already knows it all. He said, Mr. Hoven, let me ask you a question. If God can do everything, can God make a rock so big he can't lift it? I said, I don't know, sir, but I know he can make one so big you can't lift it. No problem. You know, they use questions like that to destroy some kid's faith. By the way, I've learned a good answer to that one. Jesus often answered a question with a question, right? Especially a dumb question like that. If somebody asks me that question, can God make a rock so big he can't lift it? I'll ask them this question. I'll say, have you ever had geometry? You ever studied geometry? They typically would say yes. I say, tell me, can you tell me the definition of a line? Yeah. A line goes forever in both directions. Very good. Now, can you tell me the definition of a ray? You'll say, oh yes, a ray goes forever in one direction. Oh, very good. Now let me see if I got this straight. A line goes forever in both directions, and a ray goes forever in one direction. All right, let me ask you a question. Which one's longer? You tell me which one's longer, and I'll tell you about the rock. Ah, yeah. But there are professors who think it's their duty in life to destroy every Christian that comes through their class. They're out there, folks. And I don't recommend you send your kid off to a secular university unless you're positive they can handle it, because an awful lot of them don't handle it.